Dear learner, welcome again. We were discussing the part 12 and in today's module, that is module 58, we will be thoroughly understanding the concept about the business environment. But before that, let us try to understand what we have discussed so far in the part 12 of two earlier modules, that is module 56 and 57. In this particular part, we are understanding the strategic approach to the management. Strategic approach means how the companies, how the management is planning the strategic implementation towards the growth of the organization. We have discussed that any organization which become stagnant, which do not look for the opportunities in the market, which do not efficiently uses their resources, which do not go for some kind of strategic alliances, they will not be able to survive longer in the market. So as a manager, what are the things we should be learning on how to excel the growth of the organization? So 56 and 57 is oriented towards those strategies, those methods which can be used to go for the strategic alliances. Largely we have discussed about two types of the strategic approaches. One is your internal and external. Within the internal, we have seen about your intensive growth strategy, your diversification, and third one is modernization. Alright, and the external growth strategy is with respect to how you are using the strategic alliances. Very first we have discussed about the joint ventures, second is your merger, and third one is your integration. Within that integration we have discussed about the backward integration and forward integration process. This is the summary of the things that we have learned so far. Now coming to the module 58, what is the new things that we will be uncovering? Very first one is the business environment, the concept about the business environment and how it is an strategic approach. Let us try to debrief it. All the strategies, all the element of the growth of the business, whatever the things we have discussed under the module 56 and 57, it talks about the understanding of your external environment. If whatever the strategy that you will be approaching, internal or the external, if it is not aligned with the external factors, those uncontrollable factors, then these approaches is of no use. Alright, so in this particular module we will be getting a insight about what business environment is, what are the major factors that influences the businesses, and importance of understanding the business environment as a concept. So let us try to understand the concept about the business environment. Now business environment, try to relate a business with a person. Now as an individual, your personality are influenced by majorly two factors. One is your internal factor and as well as external factors. Internal factors like your learning, your culture, your languages, your attitude, your personality, which your parents are developing through the early stage of your life when you were the child. Okay, other external factor could be the factors which shaping your personality apart from the family members, like your friend in the school, okay, your teachers, your faculty members, your peer groups, if you are in organization, your employees. All right, so some factors are within the control and some factors are beyond the control of the individual. Your parents will be doing everything to make sure that the positive vibes are imbibed in your personality, so that things are under the control. Whereas the external factors, whatever you are doing outside the home, in your school there is no one to guide you. The teachers, the faculty members are there, but they are not your parents. There will not be one-to-one interaction with every student. So it is something which is uncontrollable, which is external, and which is more dangerous in terms of shaping your personality. If you have some good friends, then it is very good. But if you have some kind of friends which can damage your personality, your learning, your skill set, then through the early stage of the life, you will not develop your entire personality. The same goes with the business as well. The business environment consists of two sets of the environment, the internal as well as the external. So let us try to uncover what those environments are. Okay. In the words of Francis Cherunilam, he has written a book on the business environment. Business environment refers to all internal as well as external factor which impacts the functioning, performance of the firm and its decision making, particularly strategies. So in this particular definition, we get to know the thorough understanding about the environment. So all those internal as well as the external factors which impact the functioning and the performance of a firm. Okay, functioning means the operation part as well as your performance, overall performance, or its key decision making, particularly the strategic decision making. Okay, so what are those environment, the internal as well as the external environment that we are talking about? Let us try to understand. The very first part is your internal environment and second is your external environment. Okay, internal environment is also termed as controllable environment. It is uncontrollable. All right. The internal environment will be consist of your value system, the vision, mission, objectives, management structures, inter-power relationship, human resources, company image and brand equity. So what is the unique feature about this internal environment? As you can see, the internal environment is a controllable environment. Like you incorporate a value system within the organization. Let us take an example of the value system of the Tata. Okay, the Tata group, okay, they are more into like customer relationship management. Okay, you will see that their core value is to provide higher performances and superior quality of the product to the consumers. So this is the core value that their enterprise has developed over a period of time. So it is within the control of the organization. All right. The mission, vision and objective. So objective, the vision is something which your organization want to achieve in a very long period of time. Okay, like when Reliance company started into the telecom sector, okay, it was the vision of Dhirubhai Ambani, Mr. Dhirubhai Ambani, to have a phone in every hand. Okay, So they have developed certain mission, develop objective, and more importantly, it is under the control within the management part itself. Management structure is with respect to the organizational structure we are talking about. We have discussed about the different organizational structure. So it is based on the discretion of the manager itself. It is not something which you cannot control. Obviously, you can control about the structure, shape of the organization. Internal power relationship, it talks about the authority that you want to share with the different superior and the subordinates. Types of the human resources you require. The company image, the brand equity, all these things will be under the control of the environment. All right. So part A we have thoroughly understood is the internal environment. But business environment more emphasizes on the part B, that is your external environment. Now what is external environment? Any environment which are beyond the control of the organization. So B means beyond the control. So management or an organization does not have full control about the factors. So overall, the external environment you will see is subdivided into your micro and macro factor. Micro factor is with respect to like the specific factors which may not be relevant for all the players in the industry. Okay, but macro factor is a bigger factor which impact overall industry, not a particular company, but all the companies operating in an industry. So very first factor of the micro factor, the smaller factor, is the customer, the supplier, the competitors, the public, the market intermediaries. So these factors are not fully controlled by the management. It has to be like partially they can control over it. Like some competitors, okay, competitors like if you are a big player in the market, so based on your overall efficiency in the cost, because of the economies of the scales you have achieved, you are in better position to like fix the price of your product. Like it could be the lower price you have fixed. So in this way you can like manage the competitors, but not fully. What if the competitor came up with some kind of radical technology you don't have? Then they are beyond your control. All right. So we can say that partially, negligibly, something are controlled within the micro factor. Other factors are like the competitors we have seen, the customers, you cannot control the customers. Some customers may be switching the competitor's product because of the inferior product quality you have. So they are also beyond the control. Marketing intermediaries means like the retailer, all right, wholesalers, agents, they are also beyond the control. You cannot fully control these factors. The part B is the macro factor, a bigger picture. Okay, like you see overall the economy or the overall the industry. Okay, and these factors are totally uncontrollable. Okay, very first one is the economic or the social culture factor, the political factor, the legal factor, the ecological factor, the technological factor, and together we call them as a pestle or the pestle. It is sometimes also called as the PESTEL. Okay, political, economical, social, technological, environmental, and legal. All right. So these are some of the external macro factor which are beyond the control of the organization. So let us try to understand what are those factors as we have discussed, the external factors are more important for a manager to understand it as compared to the internal factors. Internal factors are somehow you are able to manage it, or you have some kind of control over it. But macro external factors are beyond the control. So for a manager, in terms of the decision making, it is very important that they should be exploring the different external factors. Those external factors should be very much important in terms of identifying the variation in the external factors, any kind of future assumptions that you have made, any kind of contemporary situation which is going on, the external factors. So for the decision making purpose, the external factors are very much important. Now let us try to understand, if company in US, the company in US operating, the company name is XYZ Limited, they want to enter in India. All right. So two factors will be very much important, internal as well as the external factors. Now the company XYZ will be able to manage their internal factors, their objective, their staffs, their structure, all right, the things we have discussed in this particular part. Okay, all these external factors, they will be able to manage it. But what about the external factors? They will not be able to manage it. Then how it should be done? It should be done based on the proper survey, proper observation. Okay, so the company XYZ want to enter into India. They want to explore the external factors and how these external factors will be impacting their future decisions. So the very first factor the company will be exploring will be the economic factor. What is the economic growth pattern in India, and whether this economic growth pattern will be achieving the objective for the XYZ Limited or not. So for that, they have to understand the different economic factors. What are those sub-factors? Let us try to understand. Willingness of the buyers to purchase your product. So before you invest a huge amount of money, you will be better conduct a survey. Okay, and obviously the country where you want to enter, like in this country, in this situation, we have taken the example of India. So it is better that you conduct a survey and try to explore the preferences of the consumers, whether they are willing to purchase your product or not. Ability of the customers to buy the product. Whether the customers who are, suppose out of 100 customers, 70 customers are willing to purchase the product. That is a good number. But out of the 70 customers, how many customers have the money to purchase your product? Are they have the ability to purchase the product? You have to answer these questions. Preference for the goods or the products. Whether your product are preferred by the consumers or not. They have willingness, they have ability, that is right. But whether ultimately when they are purchasing the product, whether your product are purchased or not, or the competitor's product are purchased. Future expectation from the market or from the economic factor. So whether the consumer's income level will increase or not in the future, whether the demand will be static in the future or not, or you will be able to increase the demand or not. Okay, growth rate of the nation. If the country of we have taken the example of the India, if India will be going in a slowdown, is it advisable for the XYZ company to invest in India? No. Because if recession will be there, obviously the consumers will not be having the money to purchase your products. Okay. Last one is your competition. It means the level of competition in the market. If you are coming up with some kind of suppose techno product, okay, like smartwatch. So XYZ is now dealing into the smartwatches. So whether the company will be able to survive in the Indian situation or not. All right. So you have to look into these factors. That in India you will see that some companies are doing well, and they might be giving tough competition to the XYZ brand. As a result, the company will not be surviving for a longer period of time. Second is the social factor. Social factor is with respect to the perception of the society towards your brand. We have taken the example in the last module about the Walmart. Walmart was a very big company that will like totally capture the retail sector. The various society or various small retailers, they were opposing this particular decision of the Walmart, because they are the big giant company. They will be selling the product at the lower prices and giving the tough competition to the small retailers. So whether the society is ready for these changes or not, it is very important. What is the lifestyle of the society? Okay, some customers, maybe they are more towards pro-health customers. Some customers may be displaying the behavior of like they are more adventurous. Okay, so there will be different pattern of the consumers in the society. What are the social issues the particular customers or society is facing? Based on that social issues, if you are developing your product, then it will be very much beneficial. Like we have taken the example of some green products, some products which are sustainable and they are less damaging the environment. So the biggest problem that the society is facing is the increasing pollution. So any company like coming up with a solar rooftop at the affordable price, that they will be accepted by the society. Cultural factor. With the society, there will be different culture. Within the society, we, particularly in India, if you travel suppose 50 kilometer, 80 kilometer, you will see the different culture, different language, different fashion, different food pattern. So India is very rich in culture. So it will be more challenging for the companies, existing companies as well as the foreign companies, to make sure that the cultural sentiments are not hurt. We have different examples, okay, where the product promotion type or the packaging type or the product attribute that they are providing is hurting some religious content part or the religious sentiment, and the product or the brand is like criticized over it. We have some example of the Tanishq as a brand, Lipton, Tata Tea, some of the examples are there. You can go through the YouTube or the website and search some of the like controversial ads which were criticized over the cultural dimensions. All right. So awareness of the society's culture is very much important. The tradition, customs, beliefs and religion is very much important for the manager to understand it. Next is the political factor. Political factor talks about, and it is very important factor, because the contract which are made between the state government and the companies, if there is a change in the political situation that will also hamper the contract. Okay, so as a manager point of view, you look into some of the political stability factors. If the time period of a political party to rule the particular state or the center level is very short, then the manager's learner or the manager decision will be to avoid these kind of country. Because if there is a political shift, there is a change in the political aspect, your decision or your overall huge amount of money that you have invested could be at risk. Quick change, if there is a sudden change, then it is also very riskier. Cyclical shift, then it is also very riskier. So there are different aspects with respect to the stability of a political party. The temperament, the approach of the political party is very much important. Legal factor, it comprises the taxation laws, the environmental laws, entry barriers, import export restrictions. So some countries, in order to ban some kind of imports, they have some kind of trade barriers. Okay, like they will not be allowing to come some other companies into the territory, or they will be not allowing to allow the local companies to import some of the raw material from the foreign players. So legal factors are also very much important. In some of the countries, environmental laws are very strict. Okay, if you are damaging the environment through your manufacturing process, the high penal action will be taken as compared to other countries. So it depends on the type of the product that you are manufacturing. If your product which you are manufacturing, the chances of damaging the environment is high, then you should be avoiding those countries where the environmental restrictions are too much. Last one is the technological factor. Technological factors talks about the acceptance of the new technology. It means whether the consumers, whether the masses, whether the segments, whether the government is actually able to accept the new technology with the limited infrastructure they have or not. All right, infrastructural support, like if you want to set up a new industry, but within a country the technological or the infrastructural support is very weak. In that situation also, it is very critical for a manager to take the decision. The aspect of the technology transfer. Okay, so these are some of the factors which are very much important, and lastly we'll be discussing about the advantages of understanding the business environment. Very first one is to gain competitive advantage. All right, like when you will be able to better understand the environment, you are in a better position as compared to the competitors to get competitive advantage in the market. Better serve the market, it means you know your society, you know your customers, you know the demographic profile of the consumers, you know about the income. Okay, so you can develop the product accordingly. In this way, you can serve the market or serve the society in a better manner. Third one is essential for new player. Like we have discussed with example that the company XYZ in this example is a new to India, then they need to understand each and every dimension about the environmental aspect, be it the political, be it the technological, legal, environmental, cultural, social. Every factor need to be considered. Okay, so it requires a huge amount of understanding about the external environment, essentially for the new players. Fourth one, helpful for the business expansion. If you want to introduce a new product line, earlier you were into the FMCG, now you want to introduce into the your businesses towards a new segment like IT. Okay, then you need to understand the business environment well. Lastly, it neutralizes the risk as well, because you have a proper understanding of all the environment. But still, those environment are very much uncertain. It can change quickly and all the planning or the strategic thing can go in vain. So in this module, we thoroughly understood about the business environment, the factors affecting the business environment, and what are the importance or benefits one can get on understanding the business environment. So I leave you with some of the books that you can go through it. And in the upcoming session, we'll be discussing about the module 59. We talk about the marketing in the business management. That's all for this session. Thank you so much.